Hey guys, so in today's video I'm going to be going through how I would budget a £21,000 yearly salary. So far on my channel I have done a video similar to this for a £41,000 salary and a £31,000 salary, and so today I'm focusing on a £21,000 salary. I'm not sure why I've added the one at the end, why it can't just be 20, 30, 40, but it's just what I did. And so this was requested because my next video was actually going to be a £51,000 salary, but a few people had asked to do one on a lower salary. So in the UK, the average salary tends to be around that early 30s mark, £32,000 a year. So a £21,000 salary can be considered a low income because it's lower than average. So if you are somebody who has a salary in this region, I hope that this will be helpful for you and give you some ideas of what you can do with your money. So I am using a budget spreadsheet that I just done a video about this a couple of weeks ago, going through this budget spreadsheet that I have created and that I personally use and that I have available via Etsy, but I also have it available via PayPal. But I've got all of the information below in the description if you are interested in buying this spreadsheet. So that's what I'm using today, and I'm only going to be using the monthly budget tab for the purposes of this video. So a few things to point out. First of all is that I'm going to assume that this person has, again, a £21,000 salary per year. I'm also going to assume that this person is putting away 4% of their income each month towards their pension. Now, a lot of people opt out of their pensions, especially when they have lower salaries. And I understand why it has to be done at times. Sometimes money's tight and you do what you have to do. But I really, really encourage you, if you are somebody who has opted out of your pension, to not opt out of your pension. It will only be something that you will regret later down the line. And so it's really important that I included that in this. So £1,447 is the salary that this person would receive after their 4% pension contribution. So as you can see, everything has been pre-populated because I wanted to go through and really take some time to figure out what I would do in this situation. So I will go through everything in detail. So the first category that we'll look at is the household bills category, which includes mortgage or rent, council tax, utilities, broadband and TV license, and other. Now, I've put £433 towards rent for this category, and if you are in the southeast of England, you may think that is very low, but if you're up north, then that may not seem as low. But even if you are down south, this is what I would personally do. This is what I personally would budget. And there's a few ways that I would do this. Either because I would have a partner that I would live with and be able to split the bills, or I would do a room share. When I first got my job and, my income wasn't particularly high, having a room share was the way for me to go. That means that I would only need to pay around the £450 mark for my rent, and then I'd have the bills to pay on top of that. So £433 is what I would spend roughly on my mortgage rent. And the reason why I've put £433 is because that is equivalent to 30% of the income. Now, what they recommend generally is that your mortgage or your rent should be equivalent to 30% of your income. And this means that you are giving yourself room to do other things that you need to do. So for me personally, this is always what I look at. I look at what proportion of my income is this taking up? And if it's taking up much more, then I need to figure out a way to scale down. And if it's taking much less, then, I've got more cash to do other things with. Now, council tax, utilities, this is assuming that you live in a house share or you live with a partner or something and you split bills, because, it will be more than £60. Now, broadband and TV, I think that this should be included, especially in this day and age. We need internet. So £15 for that. TV license, I have put a big fat 0 because I think sacrifices need to be made. And I think this is somewhere that you could afford to potentially cut out of your budget. Of course, it does mean that you're not able to watch BBC, but this is an area that I think can be a bit more easily sacrificed nowadays, especially with the likes of Netflix and all the other things that we have on TV packages. So in total, the household bills comes to a total of £568, and that's the rent and the bills and the internet and TV package. Now for groceries and food, the food shop I've put £100, so that would give you about £25 per week for your food shopping, which I know is feasible because I've done it myself. Now the next thing that I've put is £15 for restaurant and takeaway, and I know this is maybe considered a bit generous because some people may say this shouldn't be included at all in the budget considering it's a low income budget, but I think you have to be realistic, and £15 may get you 1 to 2 takeaway type things, and so it's not an awful lot, but it's just a little something to reward yourself, because I think no matter what your income is, you do have to find ways to treat yourself, to keep yourself sane, and it's really important for your mental health. So £15 for restaurant and takeaways, £60 for work lunches. This is assuming you go into the office. If you're working from home, then you're saving money and you're able to cook at home. But if you are going into the office, then £60 a month for work lunches is equivalent to £15 over 4 weeks. Now, this is feasible. I have done it in the past. I've also spent way more than this on work lunches. But when I wanted to really cut back, I simply done meal deals. There's nothing wrong with a good old meal deal from Tesco's or Sainsbury's, £3, £3.50, and you can get yourself a lunch. But better yet, if you can bring yourself in some work lunches, then you can also save some money here. So the total groceries and food budget comes to £175, which I know is doable because I've done it. And if we look at the percentage, it's only 12% of the budget. So that is, I think, a good amount to aim for. Between 10 to 15%, I would say personally is a good amount to aim for. Now for transport, you can see that I've put 0 for fuel, 0 for road tax, 0 for MOT. And this is because I believe on this salary, having a car doesn't make any sense. It is expensive to have a car. You've got fuel, you've got road tax, MOT, servicing, any issues that you may have. So you can see that I've put £160 here for public transport, assuming that you need to get to work and get around. So that would give a budget of £40 per week for public transport. So for transport, that is equivalent to 11% of the total budget. Now for insurances, I have a big fat 0 for all of them because I don't think any of these insurances are necessary. You wouldn't have a car in this scenario. House insurance, you'd be renting, so you don't need house insurance. Life insurance is important if you have dependents or you have a partner who's depending on your income. Then yes, life insurance is important. But aside from that, you can do without the life insurance. Mobile insurance is something that will need to be axed for the time being. So as you can see, 0% of the income is going towards insurances. Now next we've got fun and subscriptions, and I don't have big fat zeros because, again, as I mentioned before, I think it's very important that no matter how much money or how little money you make, you put some aside to do something nice for you. So as you can see here, I've put £80 for fun money. That would give £20 per week for fun money, £50 for a mobile phone or plan. Now, ideally, this would be much closer to £10 if you have been able to buy your phone outright and then you're able to go SIM only. However, I am aware that it's not always feasible for people to save up a couple of £100 to buy their phone outright. And so in taking that into consideration, I've put £50 because £50 does allow you to get out a phone on contract and pay for it monthly, and also pay for your monthly minutes and data. So £50 a month is what I've budgeted for this. But again, if you're able to buy your phone outright, then this could go down to £10, £15 a month. Clothing, I've put £20. It's just nice to have that in case you need it. And if you don't need it every month, then you can let it save up over time. So eventually you can go on a bit of a shopping spree for yourself. £15 for self-care. This is for things like toiletries. You need these. That's not negotiable. So £15 for that. Gym membership, I've put 0 because you can absolutely work out at home. There are millions of free YouTube classes, and so there's no need to have a gym membership. You can go walk in your local park, go for a run, whatever else. So that doesn't need to be included in the budget. I have put £9 for Netflix. And the reason why I've included Netflix is because I'm assuming that this person will not be able to afford to go out very often. And therefore, I think it's important to have some kind of entertainment that, they feel like is worth staying home for. So they can have, a Saturday night at home watching films with some friends or something like that. So £9 for Netflix may be considered a luxury, but I don't think so, because I think it would save you money in other areas. So I've put Netflix, it could be Disney Plus or whatever else. And then Spotify, £0 because there is free Spotify. You have to listen to ads, but that's not something really that I think needs to be included in this budget. So for fun and subscriptions, that is a total of £174, which is equivalent to 12% of this person's budget. Now, giving and donating, I have put £20 for giving because I think it's really important to get into the practice of giving no matter how little or how much you make. Because what ends up happening is if you can't do it with a little bit of money, you can't do it when you make more money. And so I think it's about building the habit of giving as opposed to the amount that you're giving. So £20 is equivalent to 1% of this person's income, which ideally I think should be higher. But I am taking into consideration that not everybody believes in giving or feels like they can give. So 1% is a good place to start. Now for the life events fund or the sinking funds, I think this is really important to have in order to stay on top of your finances. And this is something that I live by. I talk about this in my Monzo Pots video, and I talk you through how I do it. And so for this, I put £15 for birthdays and £15 for Christmas. So life events and sinking funds comes to a total of £30, and that's 2% of this person's income. Now we've got financial goals, and the first one is debt repayments, and I've put £150 towards credit card. So I've put £150 because I'm assuming this person probably has debt, as many people do or most people do in the UK, and so I've put £150 towards this. It could be towards a personal loan or something else, but £150 is actually quite a bit of money. It's over 10% of this person's net income. And the reason why I'm doing that is because the goal is to be really aggressive with paying off this debt. It's to get this debt to zero as quickly as possible. And I'm telling you, I've been there, I've done that, I've bought the t-shirt. It was very painful at times being so aggressive with paying off my debt, but it was absolutely worth it. And of course, once those credit cards or those loans are down to £0, that then frees up £150 in your budget to put towards something else. Now for investment and savings, you can see that I've put £100 towards emergency fund, and I've put £20 towards investments. Now, I think it's really important, again, to be in the habit of investing and saving every single month. If you can build it up from a £21,000 salary and you can build it up as you earn more, you're really going to see the power of habits and behaviors. And a lot of personal finance is about your behavior. More than it's about your knowledge, it's about being able to control what you do and be disciplined to do it. So £100 for towards an emergency fund is a good place to start. The goal is to have at least £1,000 saved or $1,000 saved towards an emergency fund. And this is just to make sure that you've got some kind of buffer when something pops up, life happens, and you don't have to think, oh, I'm gonna have to put something on my credit card, or I'm gonna need to take out a payday loan or whatever else. You know that you've got some money to fall back on. Then after you've built up your emergency fund, you can then maybe work towards splitting that between your emergency fund and investments, or you can continue to build up your emergency fund so that you have 3 to 6 months worth of your expenses saved. Now, as you can see, £20 for investments isn't as much as savings, but I think it's really important to have liquid cash. Investments is not liquid, so, well, they shouldn't be. Once you invest, you should kind of set it and forget it. And so putting £20 a month hopefully wouldn't break the bank, and hopefully it wouldn't be money that you will need to access. So you won't need to sell your investments in a panic because you need access to the cash. So in total, investments and savings come to a total of 8%, which actually is a lot more than a lot of the population in the UK save every month. I think the goal should be at least 10%. But I think 8% is a good place to start. Now, the last category is other, and that is £50, and that I think is just important to have as a buffer. So this is just anything that comes up that's unexpected, anything that's maybe a bit more expensive than you thought. You know, you've got £50 to fall back on so that you do not go into your overdraft. So as you can see now, everything is accounted for. All £1,447 are spent, and that leaves a surplus and a shortage of £0. So let me know what you think about how I've broken up this budget. Does it look anywhat similar to your budget? Has it given you some ideas of what you could potentially do with your income to not only live and survive, but also to reach your financial goals? I hope that this video has shown you that even if you are on a lower income, you can still work towards your financial goals. You can still work towards paying off debt. You can still work towards investments and savings, but it's really about jigging your budget to fit your needs and to fit your desires and your goals. The next budgeting video I will do will probably go up to £51,000. So if you are interested in seeing that video and you're not already subscribed, then don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to also like this video if you did enjoy it. So thank you so much today for your time and for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video real soon.